Welcome to another add-on video. I will start focusing on the 4-hour chart since a lot of people have been asking me if they can swing trade when it comes to the fibs, and of course you can. Each time frame is gonna have the same patterns. Charts are fractals, so the same thing that you do on the 15-minute, on the 1 hour, you can do on the 4-hour, on the daily, on the weekly, on the monthly chart. It doesn't really matter. So I will be focusing on the 4-hour just to clarify a few things, and also teach how to draw support and resistance lines on the higher time frames. This is going to be very different from the 1 hour, since on the 1 hour chart I only draw institutional level areas. On my 4-hour and on my daily chart I draw support and resistance areas. So I will start by changing my candlestick chart to a line chart. It's just better because it helps you have a better view of where the chart is going to be touching. And before I show how I draw these lines, I want to give a quick example of how to draw them and how not to draw them. So if you see a pivoting point, that you see that it goes up, and it only meets on one side. For example, here, if you have two resistance areas, that is not valid. You will not consider this a support and resistance zone. In order for the zone to be valid, the chart needs to touch it both ways, being resistance and then forming support. So this is the appropriate way. Go ahead and remove that from the chart, and I will start drawing them. So I would go to my lines, and I will start from the very top. This is one of the highest points on my 4-hour time frame. You can easily just zoom out and see from where you should be starting. We have been in a consolidation phase for quite a while with EU, so I'm going to start right around this area, and I will look for the highest point that had resistance and support. So I will start from the highest point and start moving down, and right here, if you notice, we have support from that pivoting edge, and we have resistance right here. This might have touched as well. You just don't see it touching because that might have been a wick. Remember that wicks are not going to be seen on the line chart because line charts only measure opening and closing price on a chart. So I will go click on another line and keep scrolling down, and it seems like right here there is another zone right there. So you have support and you have resistance right there. You also have support back here. So we'll draw another one. Right here there's another one. You have resistance, support, resistance, and here at some point it was also resistance. If you see that line just moving higher but very incrementally, that means that must have been a consolidation phase. If I move it to a candlestick chart, you should see a lot of candles here consolidating before moving up. Let's continue moving down. Right here there's another one. You see resistance, support, and resistance right there. Here there's another one. You have resistance and support. It doesn't matter if it goes above it just a bit. That means that the price action penetrated, but then it was rejected immediately. Also here you have resistance, support, with the wick, support, and support. Here there's another one. You have support, resistance, support, resistance, and support right here. And remember that you don't have, since the price action at the moment is at 124.47, we're all the way up here. It's very unlikely for us to see this chart moving down here tomorrow or by next week. So you don't have to go too far away from the current price action. I like to go far away just so I don't have to redraw these lines next week or next month. I like to just get it out the way and have them ready. So I will continue going down. And right here, there's another zone. You can see here resistance, resistance. Right here, support. And right here, you have resistance, support, support. Right here, support and resistance, support. And you could place one right here since you have support. It's not touching, but then here you have resistance and it's not touching either. What I did was I found the median between this resistance area and this support. The median is right there in between. All right, so that should conclude the support and resistance areas. Also, some people call it supply and demand. It's basically the same thing. So I would now load my candles. And if you notice, these zones get rejected a lot, just like your institutional levels. All right, so you might ask, where should I take profit if you're on a trade and it's about to hit institutional level or one of these supply and demand zones? All right, so I would say take profit on the first one that we're approaching. So for example, right now we're at 24.47. So if I see that my institutional level is going to be at 24.50, I wouldn't set a limit to take profit at 24.50. I would set a limit to take profit at 24.48. So remember to take profit on the first one that is approaching, just because this can easily reject that institutional level. However, it will touch this supply and demand zone quicker just because it's closer. And remember that each time that you see a zone approaching, it might touch and reject. So you just want to go with the first one. And this just helps a lot whenever you're swing trading. And remember that time frames are all the same. I could easily draw my fibs from the highest point here to the lowest point. And if you notice right here, you have a 70 bounce short. And this was going to last several days. But you were able to capture, if you were taking a swing trade, you would be capturing right around, in total, 198 pips. And also if you were to go long, remember it's the same concept as the 15-minute market structure break. This broke structure to the downside. It closed lower than this lower high. So you're going to draw your fibs going down, wait for the retracement, and then you short. Same thing to go to the upside. You wait for market structure break to the upside, which was here. This is the leg that took out this low right here. So you would draw your fibs from this low to that high, and your entry is right there at the 70. And this trade would have been right at the 70 level. Currently at this price is 197 pips. So it's the same concept, whether you want to swing trade or you want to day trade. I'd rather day trade, secure my profits every single day. It's better for me to also see how much money I'm going to be making in the next month or the next year. If you're just taking swing trades, you kind of lose track of that, just because 1 week you might just be in one trade, 1 week you might be in two trades, so you don't really know how much money you will end up with at the end of the year if you're considering trading full time. So I will cut this video short here. I will continue to create more videos focusing on the higher time frames, that is on the 4 hour and on the daily. But just open up a chart. It could be any chart, doesn't matter if it's EU or GJ, UJ, any chart, and go to the 4 hour time frame, change your candlesticks to the line, to a line chart, and start mapping out this support and resistance levels or supply and demand levels, and you will get the hang of it fairly quick. And once you see these zones laid out, use them as confluence with your institutional levels, and this would help you really gauge a perfect entry on the 15-minute, just so you can start off a trade as a day trade, take profit at 10 pips, set your stop to break even, and let the next position just ride into the next zone on the higher time frames. And that will be the best way to turn a day trade into a swing trade and maximize your profits greatly. If you guys have any questions in regards to this video, feel free to DM me or email me, and I would respond as soon as possible. Thanks.